What's up guys, Sal here. So on leaks, a very reputable leaker out there is back again with another first look of the upcoming smartphone, but this time it's the Google Pixel 4. For those of you questioning the authenticity of this render, know that it's coming from a source known to have supply chain sources and generally reliable early information. That said, you can't glean much from these renders, but it gives you a decent idea of the overall build. The first thing that you're gonna notice is this huge camera bump at the left corner of the handset. This implies that the biggest change on the Pixel 4 will come in the camera department. For the first time ever, Google is going for a multiple rear camera setup. It's a known thing at this point that Pixel phones take amazing photos even with a single camera setup, so multiple cameras will only make things even better. Right now we don't know whether they're going for a dual camera setup or a triple camera setup, but in any case the camera will be the focal point of this handset. Speaking of which, this camera hump design might feel similar to you. That's because it looks exactly like the camera hump of the iPhone 11 renders. To be honest, I won't be really surprised if the Pixel 4 actually ends up looking exactly like this, because Google has literally followed iPhone's design ever since they introduced the Pixel lineup. I mean, the Pixel 1 was similar to the iPhone 6s, they copied the notch on the Pixel 3 XL, now this looks like the iPhone 11. To be honest, I'm not surprised, I'm just disappointed. Hear me out. Pixel phones are usually purchased by hardcore Android fans who want a clean stock Android experience, who also want big software updates the moment they are released. Pixel phones are the go-to handsets to make that happen. But as I understand it correctly, hardcore Android fans have one more thing in common, and it's that they hate almost everything that Apple does. So Google outright copying the iPhone's design is gonna piss the hardcore fans off, especially when they're copying this ugly camera tumor design which even the most hardcore Apple fans, aka the iSheep, are not liking it. Anyway, the Pixel 4 will retain the infamous notch because as you can see, the earpiece is pretty noticeable on the face of the phone and not on the top edge, which means Google is again going for a notch. This might disappoint a lot of Pixel fans who are expecting a punch hole kinda design. Sucks that when literally everyone was going for a motorized setup or a punch hole design, Google still wants to use the notch, which was acceptable in 2018 but not in 2019. At least I hope they reduce the notch and not give us another bathtub design of the Pixel 3 XL. Another big change you're gonna notice is the lack of a fingerprint scanner on the back. That's because it will have the in-display fingerprint scanner. Not sure if it's gonna be ultrasonic or optical. If I were to make a guess, it will be optical because it looks like Samsung has made some exclusive deal with Qualcomm where they're not allowed to give these scanners to any other OEM for a certain period of time. All in all, kinda disappointed with how things panned out because when a company as big as Google, who also owns Android, blatantly copies their arch rival, it gives out a negative vibe to the media and just feeds to the dumb mainstream belief that Android is inferior and is a copycat of Apple and iOS. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.